Hello everyone, welcome to my 30,000 subscriber special. A while back, I made a YouTube community post asking you guys for any questions you might have for me. Today, I'm finally going to be answering them. These questions range from just Splatoon related things to questions about my personal life, so we'll be covering a lot of stuff here. As you can see, this video is incredibly long, so to make things easier, I included timestamps for every question in the pinned comment. So if you don't feel like watching the whole video, which I'm sure 99% of you won't, check out the pinned comment to jump to specific questions. Also, just a reminder, I sadly wasn't able to get to everyone's questions, so if yours didn't make it into the video, I do apologize. There were also a lot of duplicate questions, so even if I didn't answer your question specifically, it still might have been answered, so be on the lookout for that. Alright, enough chit chat. Let's start the Q&A. So Dabin Donut asked probably the most frequently asked question, which is what got you into playing Dualies, specifically Tetras? So in Splatoon 2, I remember I didn't use Dualies at first, but they announced the Dark Tetra Dualies. I think that was the last Dualie that came out in Splatoon 2. And I just saw them and I thought, like, oh, those look cool. The design is really cool. And I saw it like, oh, they could dodge roll 4 times. And I was like, okay, that sounds kind of like OP, so I'll try them. And then I did try them and I was like, you know what, this is pretty fun. And then after that, I remember I took a bit of a break from the game. I took a little hiatus, like, I don't know, like 5-6 months or something. Then when I came back, I picked up Tetra Dualies again because I remembered like, oh, well, that was the last thing I used, so I might as well just use these again. And then I don't know what was different, but I was just like really good with them all of a sudden. Like I was dropping like 20 kills every game, I remember. Like granted, it was like, you know, it was like S+, it wasn't X rank or anything. But still, I was like, you know, I was popping off with them and I was feeling good about it. So I was like, you know what? Like, I'm just gonna use these. And yeah, since then, that's all she wrote. Like, I've been using Tetras since then. And then I'd say, after I used Tetras for a bit, I decided like, okay, well, you know, I'm decent with the Tetras now, so I might as well try like the other weapons from this class to see how they feel. And I remember, I tried Dapples and I tried Glugas, and those also felt really good. I was also doing really well with those. And I especially liked the Glugas because that provided like another like range option for me while still being able to maintain somewhat of the same playstyle. And then, you know, Dapples are just fun. They're not really that good, but they were fun. I still think they're super fun. Still use them. And I tried Splat Dualies and Dualies Squelchers too, and, you know, you guys know how I feel about those weapons. Like, they're fine, but they're just not really for me. But, yeah, so that's how I got into Dualies, basically. Literally, it was just Tetras looking cool that made me try them. And then, again, that's all she wrote. That's all it took. Count Me Out asks, do you ever get tired of Splatoon or making Splatoon content? Yeah, definitely. In terms of Splatoon, yeah, so there's this misconception, I think, with a lot of Splatoon content creators, like, oh, you guys just play like 10 hours every day, like you never put the game down, you never get tired of it. That's definitely not true, at least for me. I sometimes go days without playing the game, just because I'm tired of it. I can't take it anymore. Don't get me wrong, I love the game. It's fun. I wouldn't make content if I didn't think that, but, you know, Splatoon is just a game where you need to take breaks sometimes, or else it will just eat up your mental, just everything. Ugh. You guys know what I'm talking about. Like, it's fun, but you need to take time away from it when it's needed, for so many reasons. But yeah, and then in terms of making content, I do enjoy making content, but yeah, like it's very easy to like get burned out while you're making content, and that has happened to a lot of people, and a lot of people will just stop making content once they get burned out, which luckily I haven't hit that point. But yeah, no, definitely there's times where I'm just like lazy, or I just like don't feel like editing a video, or, you know, like I want to get a video out by Wednesday and it's like, I'll push it to Saturday, you know, stuff like that. But it's never gotten to the point where I like needed to take like a long hiatus from making content, at least not yet. We'll see if it reaches that point, but as of now, I'm good. Red Dragon Princess asks, how did you come up with your name? I'm very happy you asked that, Red Dragon Princess. So my name, Chase 24/7. Yes, it's pronounced 24/7. That is the intended way. A lot of people think it's 247, which, it's understandable because I don't really say how it's supposed to be pronounced, but here, I'm just letting you all know now. It's meant to be pronounced as Chase 24/7, like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now, if you want to call me Chase 247, I really don't care. You could pronounce it however you want. You could say Chase 247, whatever. I don't care. But I'm just letting you know the intended way is Chase 24/7. But anyways, the story of how it was made, it's not super interesting. When I got a Wii U and I made a Miiverse account back in the day, I was very uncreative back then as a 13-year-old kid. So I just decided like, okay, well, I'm going to be playing this console a lot. So why don't I just call myself Wii U 24/7? Because I'm always going to be playing it. And yeah, I called myself that for like, I don't know, like a year, maybe a little less actually. And then I remember like that was my Twitch name too. Like that was my Twitch handle, like Wii U 24/7. And then I remember like, yeah, people were just saying like, oh yeah, it's weird that you like call yourself like the name of the console. And like people were calling me like Wii U, and I didn't really like that. I was like, okay, well, what can I change it to? Because I like the 24/7. And then I was like, okay, well, I go by Chase, so might as well just call myself Chase 24/7, And yeah, I've stuck with that since 2013, 2014, something like that. Yeah, it's been like that ever since. I've never changed my handle. So there you go. Rat asks, what is your favorite weapon outside of Dualies and Wiper? Ooh, that's a tough one. If you asked this in Splatoon 2, I would have said Foil Flingza Roller, because I use Foil Flingza a lot in Splatoon 2. But in Splatoon 3, oh, that's tough. Honestly, I think it's just Splattershot, as boring of an answer as that is. Sorry, but I think that's the truth. Because if I'm not using Dualies or Wiper, I do find myself using Shot a lot in this game. So, yeah. Patty says, why are you never on a team if you are a competitive player? Good question, Patty. So some people don't know this, but I actually don't play competitive really anymore. I haven't since like mid 2023, maybe even like first quarter 2023. Yeah, so I haven't been playing comp for a bit, so that's why I'm not on a team now. But even when I was playing comp, I wasn't on a team. I just did pickups, which is just like, you just play with random people who are around your level rather than just being on a dedicated team. But yeah, if I get back into comp soon, which I might, you never know, I might look for a team again. Jazzacorn says, did you know that Chase is Chinese? No, Jazz, I did not know that. Thank you for pointing that out. But yeah, no, that is true. I am Chinese. I'm half Chinese and I'm half white. So I'm Wasian. If you guys think that's cool, then great. If you don't think that's cool, I'm sorry. Amber asks, what got you into content creation? Ooh, so when I was 15 or 16, I think my dad got me a capture card for my birthday because I said I wanted one. And I knew I always wanted to post YouTube videos and stream. And like I wanted to post YouTube videos of some kind, but I didn't really know what I wanted to do yet. So back then, all I did was I would literally just record me playing games and then upload it. Like the raw gameplay, like no commentary, no nothing. And for some reason that gets views, because if you guys go back and look at like my old videos and my most popular videos, like some of my most viewed videos on this channel are just me playing Wii Sports Resort casually. It's so weird how that gets so many views. But yeah, so I did that for a while. I just posted literally whatever I wanted, like random Nintendo games that I played that I really liked. And then I started doing that with Splatoon because I started getting into like comp Splatoon 2 back then. So I would just like upload my raw gameplay. And then I noticed people seemed to like it. Like people were commenting and stuff, and I was getting subscribers. So I was like, okay, I should take this to the next level then, because I enjoy this. So then I got like a mic and then all this stuff. I started doing commentary, but it was still like low effort stuff. But then, same thing happened. More people were subscribing. More people were saying they enjoy it. They enjoy my personality. I should make more stuff. I was like, okay, you know what? Let's just go all in with this. So I got better equipment. I got like a computer instead of a laptop that I was working on. And yeah, I just upgraded all my stuff. And then I learned how to video edit myself through YouTube tutorials and stuff, and yeah, long story short, that's where we are now. It's just been ever evolving since then. So, and it wouldn't have evolved if you guys weren't telling me that you enjoyed it. So thanks to you guys, the channel is where it's at right now. Fox says, what's your favorite video you've ever made? Well, let's see. The Splatoon 2 Dark Tetra guide, definitely up there. To this day, that's still the video that I've put like the most time into making, because that took like from the process of writing to editing to completing it, it took like 3 months, I think, for me to finish the whole video. Granted, you know, I was doing other stuff in between. I wasn't like just working on that, but it was a long process, so I was very proud of that. I still think it looks good to this day. I just cringe when I go back and hear the audio quality because my mic was so bad back then. That's the only problem I have with it. But other than that, I'm still very proud of that guide. In terms of Splatoon 3 videos, I think my favorite video I've made was my dually aim guide, or whatever you want to call it. The one where I'm just like showing basic training room drills for dualies. And that video, it was just really fun to edit. Like, I used this song from Gundam Unicorn that I really liked, and I like synced up the video, like the editing, to like match with it. So it was just very fun to make. And it's funny that that's my favorite video because I actually made no money off that video because the song that I used got like copyright striked. So, but at least you guys got to still see the video. It didn't get blocked. I just didn't make any money from it. But yeah, I'd say that's my favorite Splatoon 3 video. And also the video I made where I just talk about like the dually basics, like how to use dualies. Because that video did really well too. And I think I put a good amount of work into that one as well. So yeah. Astro Octo says, a lot of people have been talking about Splatoon's music. What's your favorite band or song? Ooh boy. People don't really tend to like my opinions on Splatoon's music, so I won't get into that really, but all I'll say is, in Splatoon 3, my favorite band is definitely H2O. I love their song that was used in the trailer, Rip Stop and Go, I think it's called. That one's really good, and I'm such a bad fan. I don't even know what the other song is called, but they have one other song that's really good too. Blue Vapor says, now what if they gave 52 Deco splatter color screen? I mean, splatter color screen from just a usage standpoint is pretty terrible. So honestly, I wouldn't mind if they gave it to that because 52 deserves a kind of a bad kit, to be honest. But they should fix screen first, like actually fix it for everybody in terms of accessibility before putting it on more stuff, I think. But yeah, from purely a usage standpoint, they should put it on 52 because then it would suck. Siete asks, if you could change any video you've made in any way, which one and what would you change? Yeah, just as I said earlier, probably the Dark Tetra guide for Splatoon 2. And I know it's weird to say that because like, oh, well, it's Splatoon 2, it doesn't matter anymore. But again, that is still a video that I'm very proud of. And the only problem I have with it is just the audio quality because my voice sounds so bad in that video because I didn't have a good mic back then. So if I could just go back and like re-record it all with this new mic, I would be very happy. RC says, can I have $20? No. GameSpy says, what if Dreadringer Deco gets torpedo and screen? I'll be honest, I don't think it'll get any use if it gets screen. Torpedo's fine on it, I think, but I don't see why anyone would play it for screen unless they massively buff screen, but who knows? But as of now, though, I don't think that'll get any use. Yee says, is there a true moment you've had a mental breakdown or have just had about enough with Splatoon? Oh, okay, well, not mental breakdown, but like, yeah, I've definitely had moments where, yeah, I just had enough and had to put the game down. Kind of going back to that question I discussed earlier, but yeah, no, like, if a X rank session's going terribly, or even back when I was playing comp and like you had a sucky scrim or a sucky tournament, yeah, you feel sucky about yourself, you just want to get off and take some time away. Yeah, all the time, actually, I would say. Mr. Blaze asks, what do you think could fix X battles and ranked matchmaking as a whole? For X battles, I'm just gonna say what everyone says about it ever since Splatoon 2. They need to raise the skill level required to get into it, not lower it, which they did for some horrible reason going from Splatoon 2 to 3. But yeah, like S plus it should be like S plus 25 at least, or something like that. And then, I don't know, maybe they shouldn't do the D-ranking thing every season. I don't know. They just need to make it so the skill level is much higher in order to, or skill bar, whatever you want to call it, is much higher to get into X rank. I think that's the main thing. Also, I think they should not split the regions anymore, because I think that was a mistake given what's happening right now. Because every good player just goes to Takaroka, and then Tet to Tech is just like so sad at this point. And then for just matchmaking as a whole, they need to do something about comp balancing, I think. I know for X rank it's like a little better, I think, but still I've seen horrible comps, like from Twitter and stuff, of people sharing their experiences. And then in series, they're like, I don't think there is comp matchmaking in series. If there is, it's really bad, because I'll get games where there's like 3 backlines on my team and the other team has 0. So clearly there's not anything good there. Side Angle asks, what's the best, coolest, most helpful thing you've learned from your time playing Splatoon competitively? Ooh, I think I would say the most helpful thing that I've learned from my time playing comp is probably that patience is key. Because I remember before I played comp, I would just literally not think while playing this game and just rush into every single thing and not even think about it, just try and take every fight. Granted, I still do play like that. Like, I use Tetras, so of course, like, you know, you do, Tetras typically do play with that, but I am definitely more patient now, and I use my brain a little bit more. Like, I'll wait to like go in with a special or something rather than just charge in. You know, stuff like that. I'd say that's the most helpful thing I've learned. Property Software says Five Guys or In-N-Out. That is a tough one. I like both of them. Five Guys, I think their burgers are better, but their prices are they're like so insane now. You're paying like $15 for a burger, whereas In-N-Out's prices are actually pretty good, and their burgers are good too. Like, In-N-Out's not bad, don't get me wrong. In-N-Out's really good too. So I think like Five Guys burgers are slightly better, and their fries are better too, definitely. But I don't think it's worth the price difference. I think for the price that you're getting the food, In-N-Out, like price to flavor ratio, however you want to say it, I think it's better. John says, what is your favorite color? My favorite color is green, and purple is a very close second. In Splatoon, though, purple is by far my favorite. I don't like green in Splatoon. I think it looks bad in Splatoon. So purple definitely for Splatoon. Subspace King asks, what got you interested in playing Splatoon, and when did you start playing the series? I'm a Splatoon 1 veteran. I bought it, I think, a week after it came out in 2015, and I only got interested in it because my friend group at the time, my online friend group, all got it, and then they said, like, oh, the game's actually really fun, you should try it. And yeah, they convinced me to buy it, and I did, and I'm so glad I did, because if I didn't buy it and I never tried it, who knows if I'd even have tried it at all. Maybe I just never would have played Splatoon. Esther says, what weapon did you main before Dualies? Like in Splatoon 1, what was your most used weapon? In Splatoon 1, my most used weapon was the Splatter Shot for sure. And I used Splatter Shot a little bit in Splatoon 2 as well. Same for 96 Gal. That was like my other main. I used 96 in Splatoon 1 and 2. And this one's gonna surprise you guys. But in Splatoon 1 and 2, or very little in Splatoon 2, but mainly Splatoon 1, I actually used chargers. I used E-liter and Splatter Scope a decent amount. I really like chargers in Splatoon 1 because there was less input delay with your controller. And in Splatoon 2, it didn't feel as good because there's a bit more input delay on the Switch controllers. So I did drop it there. But yeah, mainly Shot and 96 are the two that I used before Dualies. Liskew asks, what would you want to be in the meta? I mean, I'm kind of biased, but I would love if Tetras were meta again. They already kind of were at the beginning of Splatoon 3, but, you know, I want them to be really good, like top tier. And, you know, Dapples meta as well, but of course they need a big buff for that. I'd say Tetras and Dapples are my two for this answer. Lonely Cannoli says, why do you think Splatfest is so fun to so many people? Some players grind all weekend and some even get to Ruler plus 20. If Turf War is so boring, why do dedicated players grind this so much? Well, you know, I don't think it's boring to everyone. I think to casual players, at least some casual players, I don't think they find it as boring as like some of us competitive ranked players do. But yeah, no, there's definitely people who enjoy Turf War. You know, you're allowed to enjoy Turf War. but it's just not fun for everybody. But you know, those people who do enjoy it, Splatfest is their time to shine. User says, if there was one thing you could change about Dualies, what would it be? I know the exact answer to this. I would give it the same buffs that shooters got in Splatoon 2, where you can dip in and out of your ink at a faster rate. Like it's like what, 2 frames faster for every shooter? And only shooters have that. No other weapons in the game have that. And it's mind-boggling why that's the case. But yeah, they at least give that to Dualies. Because Dualies are so similar to shooters. I think Dualies should have it too. Nylama says, show us your cats, please. All right, on the left we have Max, and on the right we have Stormy here. They're brother and sister. Unfortunately, 6 months ago, at the time of recording this video, Max did pass away. He lived a great life. He was 15 years old. You know, I was very happy, and we were with him at the very end. But yeah, it was very sad. But Stormy's still here, and still moves great for her age. So yeah, hopefully she'll be here for at least a few more years. Sarzi asks, if you could change anything for customization in any of the Splatoon games, what would you change? Well, I'll just say for Splatoon 3, I would add more clothing options. And by clothing options, I don't mean gear. I mean, like, you know, the non-gear aesthetic options, like, you know, pants and hairstyles, eye colors, more stuffier face. Like, I know there was like data mine that there's like, you could get like customizable scars or whatever for your face, or like face paint or something like that. Yeah, why is that not in here yet? Like, bring that in. We just need more customization to make our characters more unique, I think. Gradicino says, so any GF. All I'll say is yes, but I'm not gonna say who. But my hint is that she already asked a question earlier in this Q&A, and I already answered it earlier in the video. Tori says, if Dualies didn't exist, what weapon would you play? In Splatoon 3, probably shooters. Sorry if that's boring or disappointing as an answer, but it's probably the truth. Phil the Gamer says, do you think all the abilities in Splatoon 3 are useful, or should some of them be reworked or removed? No, not all of them are useful. There's definitely some horrible ones. Like, I don't know, like there's Tenacity, which has always been weak even after it's been buffed. Opening Gambit, which is like very niche on a few weapons, but it's still very weak. What is there, like Drop Roller is like very, very niche. Like a lot of them are very, very niche. Like Thermal Ink too. Like they need to be better than just decent on like very few weapons. You know what I'm saying? Like it should be more universally useful. Fudge Tart says, if you were to make content on another game, what would it be? Ooh, that's a good question. Well, if you guys didn't know, I used to actually make Mario Kart 8 content on this channel because I used to play competitive Mario Kart 8. I quit during Mario Kart 8 Deluxe because I just stopped enjoying it and I got more into Splatoon. But I don't know, Splatoon didn't exist. I might still make videos for Mario Kart. I don't know. I'll probably make videos for Mario Kart 9 whenever that comes out in like 5 years. I'll probably make a second channel for that though, because at this point, my channel is really just Splatoon focused, and making content on anything else would probably hurt the channel. So yeah, I'll definitely make a second channel for that. I don't know, like part of me has always wanted to be like a YouTuber, sort of like Scott the Woz, where I kind of just like talk about random games that I like and kind of like video essay style. But I don't have time for that, and I also just don't have the drive for that, at least right now. But who knows, maybe in the future, we'll see. Snow says, how many hours did you spend in Splatoon in general, meaning the whole series? Oh, I don't know the exact number, but Snow, I think it's getting near 10,000 right now. Splatoon 1, I had 1,000. Splatoon 2, I had 5,000, I think, around 5,000. And then Splatoon 3, it's getting up there. It's like around 3,000 right now, I think. Maybe slightly below that. So yeah, we're approaching 10K pretty fast. Keys says, what was the first weapon you actually picked up for real in Splatoon 1? It was definitely the 10 attack splatter shot. Meta says, what is your favorite anime and or manga? In terms of anime, my favorite anime is called 86. It is just a masterpiece. I love it. I've watched it like 5 times now, all the way through. I just love everything about it. In terms of manga, I haven't actually read any, but I might in the future. But yeah, so that's where I'm at with that. Incognito says, do you guilty pleasure non-meta weapon that isn't a dually? Yeah, I'd say there's a couple that I do. I'd say the main one is Dreadbringer. Although you could argue that Dreadbringer is like meta now, or at least like decent now. But I used it back when it like was considered really bad. So I'd say Dreadbringer. Octoom says, "What is your favorite video game?" My favorite video game of all time is Nintendo Land, which, if you didn't know, was the bundle game with the Wii U. I think it's super underrated. There's so much care and thought put into that game. I definitely logged at least 1,000 hours into that back when I was like 13 years old and the Wii U just came out. Like, that was all I would play. I would just grind for high scores on those mini games and enjoy every second of it. Wii Sports Resort is definitely a close second. It might be tied for first, actually. If you haven't played Wii Sports Resort, what are you doing? Wii Sports Resort is a masterpiece of a game. If only they just remade that for the Switch instead of doing Nintendo Switch Sports, but whatever. And then I'd say another honorable mention is Wind Waker, or Wind Waker HD. I consider them the same thing. Wind Waker HD is just, it's my favorite Zelda game for sure. Mr. Anonymous says, if you were in a Mr. Beast challenge, one of his past ones, which one would you want to be in? That's an interesting question. I'd say I would want to do the one that he did recently where like that one guy and the girl stayed like in a room together for like 100 days, I think it was. Like I don't know. That seems doable, especially with like all the like challenges, or not challenges, but like, things that you could buy to make the challenge easier. I think that's a very interesting challenge, and as long as the other person that's in there is like cool, I think I could do it. Funfion says, what are your hopes and expectations for Splatoon 4? All right, two things, Funfion, two things. One, make the online bearable, because Splatoon 3's online is dog. And then also, I just want the update cycle to be better than what it is right now. I think they should add new weapons every 1.5 months instead of just every 3 months. And then maybe add a couple more stages here and there. Definitely add more gear. Basically, my main problem is just make it not 3 months apart. It should be 1.5 months for like content drops. Sure, you could add less content if it's 1.5 months, sure, but it just needs to be more frequent. PWRWQ says, what are your thoughts on the consumable dairy product known as cheese? Wow, I didn't think I'd be asked this question, but I'm glad you did. I don't know. I like cheese. I don't have a problem with cheese. I really like American cheese and marble cheese. Those are probably my favorites. But, I like all cheese. I don't have a problem with cheese. Kato says, this has been on my mind for a while. Why do you play the female Octoling? Yeah, I get asked this a lot, like on streams and stuff. I play the female Octoling because, in my opinion, she makes the least annoying sounds of all the 4 species, whatever you want to call it. And then also, I don't know, female Octoling's cute. I think it's definitely the cutest of the 4. So, yeah, that's why. Lily says, what would be your perfect vacation trip? Ooh, I think going to Japan. I've always wanted to go to Japan since I was little. All like my hobbies and interests in life have all been like based in Japan. Like, of course, I like Splatoon and like some of the TV shows. I love animes, like all this stuff that I'm into. It's all based in Japan. So I think I should definitely go there, just like experience it. So yeah, that's probably my dream vacation. Agent Cal says, who is your main in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe? So Agent Cal, do note that I haven't really played the game since like the first wave of the booster course pass. So I haven't played since they like changed all the stats and like rebalanced everything. So the last time I played was still in the Waluigi meta. But I mainly used Roy Koopa back then. He has the same stats as Waluigi, but I just used Roy just to be a little different. Pip Curtis says, would you ever play any other games on your YouTube channel? So if you look back, Pip Curtis, I have uploaded other games in the past, but at this point, with how like popular my channel has gotten, and it's just known for Splatoon, I don't plan on playing any other games on this channel. I'm gonna stick to Splatoon, but I might make another channel, like an alt channel in the future that I could play other games on. And if I do, I'll definitely like share it on this channel so you guys can check that out as well. Spicy Peppers says, what are your thoughts on the Splatoon manga series that started back in 2017? I've never looked at it and never read it. I know pretty much nothing about it, so I don't really have an opinion. Galligator Game says, what is your most played video game that isn't a part of the Splatoon franchise? That's tough. I don't know the exact answer. Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U, I definitely had a lot of hours in. Pokemon White version, I remember I had quite a bit of hours in, like definitely over 1,000. Nintendo Land, Wii Sports Resort, all contenders as well. Yeah, so I don't know the exact answer to that because I haven't checked, but it's one of those that I just listed for sure. Prif says, would you rather have Ink Back meta or Super Chumps meta? Probably Super Chumps. Both of them would be annoying in the meta for sure, but I think I'd prefer Super Chumps just because you can at least shoot the Super Chumps. That can be very annoying if the person who's using it knows what they're doing. So yeah, I'd say Super Chumps. King Echo says, when did you first start getting into the competitive scene of Splatoon? I got into comp Splatoon right after COVID hit. So like early 2020 is when I got into it. I think it was like April or May. And if I recall correctly, I think it was either the K-Pro meta or the L3 meta. It was one of those two that I got into it. I don't remember which one exactly, but I'm sure someone can confirm. But yeah, it was around that time, like March, April, May that I got into competitive. Ruodon says, are you thinking of picking up V-Dualies as a main? No. I don't plan on it. It's just something I use for fun, but it's too similar to Tetras for me to use it seriously. I feel like you either use Tetras or you use Dualies seriously, but you don't use both of them. I feel like it kind of messes up your other one if you try and use both of them. Capri says, during the time you spent being a Tetra main, can you approximate how many hours you spent using them from S2 and 3? I don't know exactly, but I would say it's definitely around 4,000 to 5,000 hours, Capri. Ryan says, how do you balance everything that you do in your life? College, comp, YouTube, etc. Not gonna lie, it's not easy. As I mentioned earlier in the video, there are a lot of times where just like I'm lazy, like I'm tired from school during a day, and it's like, oh, I wanted to work on my video, but I'm so tired, I'm just not going to, so I'll do it tomorrow. You know, a lot of stuff like that. It's why I only usually do 1, maybe 2 videos per week now. Because before, I was doing like 3, maybe even like 4 videos per week. Sometimes, like I was insane back then. I don't know how I was doing that, but yeah, with school right now and how busy I am, yeah, I could really only do like 1 or 2 per week. User says, do you play any other games besides Splatoon? Right now, no. I just don't really have time. Don't get me wrong, yeah, I play other stuff occasionally. I got Tears of the Kingdom, I beat that, and I got Mario Wonder, and I almost beat that, then I didn't for some reason because I kind of just lost interest. But yeah, and then sometimes I'll play like Mario Party with friends, but no, I really only play Splatoon right now. That's all I really have time for. Me Silver says, what is a goal you want to achieve in Splatoon 3? Well, in terms of internal goals within the game, I don't know. I don't really have anything. I already got my an X power that I'm satisfied with. I want to get the Golden Series badge, the one for winning 250 Anarchy Series. That's kind of what I'm working towards right now. In terms of external goals with the game, like, you know, just like with my YouTube channel and stuff, I want a YouTube video that gets 1 million views. That's my goal right now. And of course, like 100,000 subs, 50,000 subs, we're working towards those, obviously. But a video that gets 1 million views would be really, really cool. Archive says, what's your current musical obsession? For the past couple years, I've really been into Hiroyuki Sawano, who makes a lot of anime music, composes a lot of OSTs for stuff. I really love his Gundam OSTs, 86 OST. You know, I just listen to that stuff on repeat. It's so good. I'm a big fan of his. Also, recently, I've discovered the band called Yoasobi, who's another Japanese group. Really love them. I haven't heard all their songs yet, but I'm really liking what I've heard so far, and I definitely playing a lot of their songs on repeat. Timeless says, are you good with Charger generally, or do you have actual experience? No, I'm not good with Charger. I think I was decent in like Splatoon 1. I would say I was decent, but since then, no, I fell off hard. I think the only one that I can like use and somewhat do decent with right now is Squiffer, just because it fits my pace. But no, I do not consider myself good with it. Yoons asks, how did you, Sour, and Anike meet? The first time I talked to them was I was playing Anarchy Open with some other friends, and then we encountered Sour and Anike in Open. And we faced them like 7 games in a row or something. It was crazy. And then one of my friends I was playing with told me that Sour and Anike are streamers, so I went and looked them up. And then I went in their chats. I said, hey, how's it going? And then, you know, just kind of casual. And then after that, I met Anike at SoCali, which is an in-person LAN. Then after that, I became good friends with them. I started playing with them, and yeah, we've been close ever since. Carlos says, what was your motivation to play competitively, and is it still the same? Well, back then in like 2020 when I started, I thought I was decent at like ranked or whatever. And I was like, oh, like, if I'm this decent at ranked, like I could probably do some stuff in comp. And I was met with the brutal truth that is not the case. Being good at ranked does not mean good at comp. And a lot of people need to learn that. But yeah, that was the main thing. I kind of just wanted to try it out and see how I did. And then, is it still the same? No, definitely not. I don't even really play comp anymore. I kind of lost interest in it. I still play like for fun once in a while, just when friends ask me to. But no, the drive is definitely not the same as it was. And also, I just don't enjoy Splatoon 3 comp as much as Splatoon 2 comp from what I've experienced so far. Dcraft says, why have you stopped playing Wiper? I just didn't really enjoy it as much anymore. It's just not as good as it was. The weapon itself is just weak. It's like weaker now than it was. Stamper is definitely the better Splatana. But also, I just really wanted to focus on Dualies, I think. Don't get me wrong, Wiper is still fun. I do enjoy it when I play it occasionally. But yeah, I just really wanted to focus on Dualies because that is, that is what I'm known for, so... Scorebun says, what was your favorite weapon to 5-star? Probably light Tetradualies. Because I remember that was the first time I did like a stream where I was like, okay, I'm gonna stream until I get 5 stars. And it took a long time. It was like a 6-hour stream or something like that, but I enjoyed that one a lot. It was very hype. And I got that one so fast too. I was determined to get 5-star light Tetras as fast as possible. So yeah, that was the most enjoyable one for me. Slipstream says, what would be a change or addition to movement, weapons, etc. that you would like to see in the future? Well, besides Dapple's getting the ability to do a third dodge roll, there's not really anything else in terms of main weapons that I want, but I'll kind of cheat. You didn't really ask this, but I'll just say, for Reeve Slider, for a special weapon, I want them to let you be able to slightly steer it and let you jump with it. That's a movement buff I think they could give it. That would make it a lot better. Roslyn asks, what's your major in college? I major in cinema and television arts. I really specialize in the television department. But yeah, I'm trying to be like a professional editor for like television series. So yeah, television arts. Empress says, which Splatoon game has your favorite soundtrack? Splatoon 3 is honestly not that bad. I don't mind most of Splatoon 3's soundtrack. But I will say, I think Splatoon 1 has more songs that I enjoy. Whereas Splatoon 3 is kind of just like, I'm okay with them. And Splatoon 2 is definitely my least favorite, probably. Dubstep asks, what's your favorite candy? My favorite candy is Skittles and Starburst. And I think Mike and Ike's are definitely up there as well. I really like the citrusy candies. Falsey asks, how are you so good at using dualies? How did it all begin? I already explained how it began earlier in the video. In terms of how I gotten so good, quote unquote, if you want to say I'm good, that's just a lot of training room and just experience. I've done just a lot of aim drills in the training room to like get my aim to where it's at. And then yeah, just the rest of it is just experience, just playing the game a lot and learning a bunch of things. Eldritch says, what do you know/feel about Splatoon's lore and story? To be honest with you, I'm not really involved at all with the Splatoon lore. I don't know that much about it. I kind of just play the game. I play it for the multiplayer. I haven't even beaten the single player in Splatoon 3 fully yet. I mean, I beat it, but like I haven't done like the after Alterna, whatever it's called. So yeah, I really don't care about the story modes and lore and stuff. Sorry to disappoint you. User says, what is your best tip to get better with light Tetradualies? Definitely just master the Zipcaster and kind of canceling it after you hit a wall and then dodge rolling right after that. I explained that in my Zipcaster tips and tricks video. Tartar says, what color is your toothbrush? It is white with a little hint of blue. Haunton says, Chase, have you tried hot sauce on Oreos before? Surprisingly, no. I know that's something that people very commonly have and enjoy, but no, I have not tried that myself. I need to. Tyler says, at this point, what would you say you prefer more, Tetras or Galugas? I really enjoy playing both of them, but I still definitely prefer Tetras. Tetras are just, they're my weapon. I've always enjoyed them, even when they're at their worst, which they kind of are right now in Splatoon 3, let's be honest. I still enjoy playing them. I still have fun with them. So yeah, definitely Tetra. Spooky says, what is a weapon that people may dislike but you actually like? Could be from any Splatoon game. In Splatoon 2, I really enjoyed the vanilla undercover umbrella with splashdown, because in that game it got like splashdown in like 150p, so it actually had a niche in that you could just spam splashdown with it. And I ran like this QSJ build with like a ton of quick super jump to just like quickly jump to my teammates and then splash down out of the air. It was quite fun actually. So yeah, that's probably the weapon I enjoyed the most that a lot of people hate. Umari says, are you going to try and make YouTube your full-time career? No, I don't think so. At least not right now. I don't have plans to. I'm definitely still in school and I'm going to try and get like a full-time job. But I do want to stick with YouTube though as kind of like a side hobby thing. I don't plan on like getting rid of that, but we'll see. Age Seafood says, what are your thoughts on Fortnite? I've never played it, surprisingly. It just never really interested me. Splatoon is the only shooter game I have any interest in playing. But, you know, I don't have a problem with Fortnite. I think it's cool how popular it is and how many people play it. But, no, I'm not really interested in it, so I don't really have an opinion. BS Gamer says, do you like triple splashdown? People are saying it's too good, but I think it's perfectly fine. I don't think it's that great. I thought it was a while ago, then I used it a bit more, and I think people just got more used to it. Now, granted, it's way better than Splashdown in Splatoon 2, that's for sure. I'd say it's like a mid-tier special in Splatoon 3. I think it's really good against casual players who don't know how to like shoot it down and really position themselves to get away from it. It's a weird special in that regard. Like, it's probably really good against people who don't really know what they're doing, but it's kind of not that great against people who do know what they're doing. It's a weird balance going on there. But no, I think it's like mid-tier probably. I don't think it's too overpowered or anything. I don't think they'll ever buff it, but I don't think they'll nerf it either. User says, if you could do one thing to Splatfest to make them better for everyone and minimize the complaints, what would you do? Definitely add anarchy modes or ranked, whatever you want to call it. Just adding those would go a long way. I don't think many people would complain at all if they had that, actually. I think most of the complaints would be minimized. Sandwich says, what's your advice for a current 4-star Dualies Squelchers main trying to get better at them? Well, Sam, remember, I'm not really the person you want to ask for Dualies Squelchers advice because I don't really use them that much. But definitely just get good at the jump tech, which I have discussed in previous videos. And then I'd say just watch some top level players who use the weapon. Like Jared uses them occasionally. Jared's probably the best source. There's quite a few Japanese players who you can find who use Dualies Squelchers as well. Yeah, definitely just research, watch how they play, and you'll learn a lot from that. Moonstone says, if the dually class disappeared, what weapon would you main next? Either Splatanas or shooters. I'd say probably shooters most likely, but Splatanas maybe. Really depends on if the third Splatana is good. Toodle says, if you could change one thing about Splatoon, what would it be? Make the online better. Make it not crap. Make it actually fun to play online. Make it reliable. Have the ping be higher than what it is, and I think that would go a long way. Splat Inker says, can you speak Mandarin, Cantonese, or both? Sadly, neither, Splat Inker. I know a few phrases of Cantonese, but no, I don't speak either, sadly. Funny Toadman says, your opinion on the Pikmin franchise? It's cute. I have only played Pikmin 3 and I didn't really get into it. I only played it for like a few hours and just wasn't my cup of tea, but I think it's cute. I like the design of the characters and stuff. Yeah. Yin Yang says, what tips would you give to someone who is just starting out in the competitive scene? Be patient, I think, is the thing that I learned the most. Just, you know, don't rush in. Don't just try and fight everyone by yourself. Be patient, work with your team, wait for specials, you know, all that stuff. Anthony says, could you ever imagine yourself doing anything else other than Splatoon in the future? So I'm a little confused. I don't know if you mean like in terms of making videos about Splatoon. Like, are you saying like, could I make videos about anything else besides Splatoon? Because if that's a question, yes, I definitely could. I mean, I plan on sticking with Splatoon for now, but yeah, I could see myself doing videos for another game if I find something else that I'm interested in. But if you mean just anything in life other than Splatoon, yes, definitely. There are plenty of other things I could do in life that aren't Splatoon, that's for sure. Gigi says, if I had to ask what's your favorite game in the series, Splatoon 3 probably. Splatoon 3 has like the best elements from each game, I think. But don't get me wrong, there's definitely elements from Splatoon 1 and 2 that are better than 3, but I think overall I do enjoy 3 the most, at least right now. Janner says, what kit do you see a potential new Glooga Dualie getting? Well, I answered my dream kit in a previous video pretty recently. But in terms of what I realistically think it's gonna get, I think it's gonna get splatter color screen, sadly. It just seems like it. It's gonna be probably a more defensive playstyle for this Glooga, a more defensive kit. So yeah, splatter color screen makes sense, and I do have hope that they'll give it Fizzy Bomb. I think Fizzy is likely. HK says, what keeps you playing the Splatoon series? I mean, low-key, making content for it. Making content is probably my favorite part of it. If I wasn't making content, I don't know if I'd even still play Splatoon, to be honest with you, because, you know, I can only take so much of it. Mitt says, what was your first video game ever? My first video game ever was on the GameCube. It was called Carmen Sandiego and Secret of the Stolen Drums. It's actually a pretty good game. I mean, looking back at it, it looks terrible now, obviously, because it was so long ago. But for what it was actually pretty fun. I really enjoyed it as a kid. Mohammed says, if you could revert any balance change across all Splatoon games, which one would you revert? Definitely the buff that they gave to all the shooters in Splatoon 2 that lets them dip in and out of ink faster. I thought that was always stupid, and I still do. Or vice versa, as I said earlier in the video, they could just give that buff to everything else too. Like either way, either get rid of it for the shooters or give it to everything else. But right now, something needs to change because it's just not fair. Bella says, will you one day do a face reveal? I have already, actually, on multiple social medias, but I typically always delete them. I don't keep them up for long, just because, you know, I like to keep that sense of mystery between creator and viewer. But, you know, if you're in the right place at the right time, you might see one in the future, so just, you know, keep an eye out. Otter says, how do we create a Dapple meta without adding a new kit, because it might not happen? I think it needs a range buff. I think that's the main thing it needs. Just give it like a slight range buff. It doesn't need a huge one, just a slight one. That will go so far in making it decent in the meta. Tony says, what is the most unique, interesting, or strange experience you've had with one of your fans since I started YouTube? There's been a few. I've been pretty lucky, to be honest. I haven't had a lot of like weird interactions. The one that comes to mind is there's been one or two people who have DM'd me that they've had like dreams about me. And, you know, what they said happened in the dreams wasn't anything, like, super, super bad, but it was still kind of weird. But I won't go into detail on what it was, but it was very bizarre, and I didn't even respond to them. I just left them on red. Amelia asks, if you could use one charger, what would you use? Definitely Squiffer. Squiffer is the one that suits my playstyle the best. I love that you could jump and charge at the same speed that you could if you didn't jump. Yeah, it's my favorite charger for sure. Gaz says, what would a good Splatfest theme idea be? The one I've always wanted them to do would be breakfast versus lunch versus dinner for Splatoon 3. That's a three-way one. I think that would be very balanced throughout all of them. I mean, let's be honest, breakfast would probably win, but I think it would still be a much better theme than what we've gotten so far. I think each team would have a very even amount of popularity. Paxter says, do you have any tips for an upcoming Splatoon content creator? Yeah, definitely. I have a few. I'd say the main one is just don't get discouraged if you put a lot of work into a video and then it doesn't perform well. Because when you're starting out, that's going to happen. It happens to everyone. You pour your heart and soul into a video and it's just not getting the viewership that you expected, and that's okay. That's all part of the YouTube process. You keep grinding, you keep putting in that effort, and you will thrive if you maintain that effort. But it's very easy to get discouraged, and it happens to a lot of people, and a lot of people quit. So, you know, just keep at it. That's my advice. Okay, so Slinky says, would you rather have unlimited bacon but no more games, or games, unlimited games, but no games? I'm assuming you made a typo there. I think the last word is supposed to be bacon. I would say unlimited games, no bacon. I could live without bacon. Don't get me wrong, bacon's really good, but I could live without it, so definitely games. Roxy Moron says, Zipcaster meta or Ultra Stamp meta? Definitely Zipcaster meta. Ultra Stamp meta would be disgusting. That special is very annoying to deal with. Don't get me wrong, I want it to be good, but the way it is right now, it would be very annoying. They need to change the hitbox of it and just make it protect from the front, but make the hitbox a little more slim, I think. That's what they need to do. If they do that, then I wouldn't mind an Ultra Stamp meta, but as it is right now, definitely Zipcaster meta. Swidge says, if you had to pick a weapon class in Splatoon 3 to get rid of, which one would it be? I'd say stringers, just because of how useless they are. Granted, they could buff them and make them good, but Nintendo doesn't want to for some reason. So if they're just gonna keep doing that, then yeah, I think the weapon class is very irrelevant and there's no reason for it to really be here. And it's just not very good. So yeah, I think they could really can stringers, to be honest. Ravine asks, what was your favorite Splatfest in the whole series? Ooh, I think it's the very first cat versus dog one in Splatoon 1. Reason being, just because that was the first one, it was really hype. We didn't know what to expect with the Splatfest. And also my friends and I were really passionate because I was Team Cats and like 2 of my other friends were Team Dogs, and we were like really passionate on who would win. Yeah, so that one has the most like memory to me. Ali asks, have you ever watched the anime The 7 Deadly Sins? I have not. But I want to, because I know that Hiroyuki Sawano composed for that anime as well, so therefore I must watch it. But no, that is one that's on my list. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Anna asks, do you like mango slushies? I think I do. My question to you is, do you like little sponge cake cubes with strawberries on top of them? Nicole asks, where are you from? I'm from California, United States. That's as local as I'll go. I'm not gonna get any more specific than that. Southern California, I'll say that. Southern California. Slane asks, what is your end goal with YouTube/Twitch? To be honest with you, I don't really have one. I'm kind of just going with the flow. I do this as a hobby when I have free time. I'm not trying to make it like a career or a job or anything like that. It's just a side hustle, if you want to call it that. But yeah, I'm really just going with the flow. I don't know where I'll be in a year or 3 years or 5 years. Like, I really don't. I don't know if I'll still be doing this. Hopefully I will, but no guarantees. But yeah, I don't really have any like concrete goals or anything besides just like reaching like 50,000, 100,000 subscribers, you know, the obvious goals, but nothing really like more concrete than that. And the final question comes from Enon, who asks, what's your favorite 2D platformer and 3D platformer Mario games? I'll say 3D first because I know this one for sure. It's Super Mario Galaxy 2. I love both of the Mario Galaxies, but I liked 2 a little more because it was harder. I love the difficulty of Super Mario Galaxy 2. For 2D, that's tough. Does Mario Maker 2 count? I doubt it. If Mario Maker doesn't count, oh man. Mario Wonder is good. I haven't beaten it yet, but I do like what I've played of it so far. It's quite good. Mario Brothers Wii was probably the most iconic one to me. It's either Mario Brothers Wii or Mario Wonder. It's one of those. All right, guys, that is all the questions that people have asked. That was like, what, 90 something? 98 questions that we just answered. Oh boy, that was a long video. If you watched till the end, I appreciate you. If you only skimmed through a couple questions, I still appreciate you. If you're just watching, I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you for getting me to 30,000 subscribers. You guys are incredible. I never thought we'd get this high. I really didn't. I was happy with like 5,000 when we did the last Q&A. And we're at 30,000 now. It's insane. Just thank you guys so much for all the support. It really means the world to me. If you guys have any comments or anything about the stuff that was answered, feel free to let me know down below. Please give the video a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, here's to a whole another 30,000 subscribers. All right, I will see you all next time. Thanks again for watching. Have a good day.